Hello, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has taken quite a dive. Down 2.93%, 724 points as of the close. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is just below 24,000. And it's got people wondering, well, what's going on here with the Dow Jones and the stock market, and how is this affecting other things in the economy, and what's going on here, because the price of gold is staying relatively low when it's fallen here. All the precious metals, silver, gold, platinum, and palladium here, according to goldprice.com. Very interesting indeed. So what's going on here? Well, I think there's a couple different factors, and there's not just a couple, but there's many different factors that come into play as to what affects the price of this or that and the other. And some wonder if there's a combination of different things going on. But typically what happens with gold and silver, the first thing really to check for, and I've kind of had to learn this, because we usually think of gold and silver being tied to oil. But what's oil tied to? Well, it's the dollar, the petrodollar. And so the first thing you look at, before you really even check out if you're interested in gold and silver prices, what's going to affect that is the dollar index. And here we can see, though, it's been kind of relatively low. It's relatively strong today. Based off of the news, it's held pretty steady throughout the day, as we've seen this rundown in the Dow Jones Industrial Average today, March 22nd, 2018. So then if the dollar is not affected so much, why is that? Well, you have to think into what kind of factors come into play with regards to the markets, the stock markets. And I think the biggest factor going on is the announcements from Trump on different things that he is going to apply tariffs to. So not just steel and aluminum, but a myriad of other things that are affecting the markets here. And they're a little skittish about what's going on with these tariffs because it's a relatively, it's a very strong stance he's taken that no president has taken before, and this is a first, and there's a lot of people against it on both sides of the aisle in Congress. And so with that being said, it's affecting the markets, and they're being spooked today. Now the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates 1/4 point, and we've seen gold and silver go down a bit, but it's sort of recovering a little bit from that. And so you may see a little bit of push and pull with the gold and silver price in that manner. And that's why we're seeing it kind of fall down a bit here, or stay below 1330. But it has flirted with the 13 teens recently. But let's kind of take a look at the gold prices here. And then we can see the gold 30-day price average here, what it's doing. Fascinating indeed to see, and that is kind of spiking back up here a little bit, but not too much from its lower at the 13.11, and now up a couple $20 or so. But again, it's somewhat down and somewhat stable from yesterday's high, and from the 5-day we see it's kind of up a bit for sure there. And within the day, it's with the stock market closing sharply down, we see that gold's price is relatively unaffected, in fact, down a bit. So a lot of different things going on and to come into play, and one really does have to kind of be on the ball and pay attention to a lot of these different factors. But really, it's closer tied to the dollar index, and that's typically what I look at. At least here for the United States, and the indexes of your currencies for other nations, you want to check those, really, probably first and foremost. However, there are some times when those tie-ins to may not necessarily correlate. So in other words, the dollar may be strong, and gold and silver could go up for one reason or another, mostly due to demand or lack of supply or something somewhere, or strong demand that could, or some other factor that could come and play that could throw off that correlation, or inverse the correlation there. But nonetheless, there it is. Quite fascinating indeed what's happened today with the markets. And so apparently the dollar and the price of gold was not spooked by this. So we'll see what will happen tomorrow with the markets and how they react to the second day after this announcement by Trump for the tariffs. And well, it's anyone's guess, but post your thoughts below about this information. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude, y'all, for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.